Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today, Danny?
Doing all right.
All right, swap over screens. Hopefully, ah, there we go. There's the load. All right. So, uh, so for those of you that are going to be watching this on YouTube, I apologize. I had work on Friday, and I'm not gonna lie, I was so concerned with having to go in early Saturday that I forgot to message Danny to record the video. So, whoops. So, whoopsies. But yeah, but now we're here. We're here now. So, Danny, do you have anything? Did anything good happen to you in the past week?
Uh, what a rating. That happened.
Oh, did you end up doing a world tour?
We did quite. We've actually been doing a lot of raids lately.
I mean, getting the grind on. You know how it is.
E.
How long do we have in the season? Roughly about 2 weeks left.
We're about like at the halfway point
Oh, then I
because
still have plenty of time to finish the season pass.
oh yeah, and all of the big XP seasonal challenges are starting to roll out.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, then let's go ahead and get this TWAB underway. Or, it could decide not to show up. I literally prepped it this time. What the fuck? Bungie. Or less Bungie, more OBS. OBS! Alright, so, boom, here we go. It is time for the Twabi Wabi. Um, we're going to skip all of the shit from last week and we're going to go straight into this week. So, primarily, they're going to be focusing on a recap of this week's Reflecting on Lightfall article. The Grandmaster Nightfalls start this Tuesday. A preview of the weapons coming and leaving in Season 21, new Prime Gaming rewards, and our player support reward, followed by some community creations. So, not a bunch of, heavy info.
Yeah,
Um,
there's like a couple things that are really big that was in there reflecting on Lightfall. Basically, to sum it up, because that's probably the best way to do it.
oh god, yeah, there's a decent bit here.
Yeah, they have been listening, they've been watching, looking how things are going. They're basically saying like, "Hey, Guardian ranks, we hear you loud and clear." They're a great idea, but not implemented the best, so they're working on it, and they will reset every season, but you'll basically be at 5 immediately every season if you've passed that in previous seasons.
So, yeah.
So getting from 5 to 7, they said, is going to feel like getting from 6 to 7.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty fast.
Well, they're also going to make it a lot easier to do in general. And I mean, it's one
Yep,
of those things of you chance like if you're focusing on just doing what you need to do, you're never going to get it done.
yep.
But if you actually fast track and actually take a look at what the achievements are, it's really simple. I just have had no want or need to get to 7
Yeah, like
because I
anything
just don't care. I just don't care.
anything anything past 5 is literally just cosmetic, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, they will be adding a new commendation for best dressed soon.
I saw that. I'm really glad because we damn well know the Destiny community loves memeing. So that's pretty great. I also like the fact that they specifically also stated, which they've said in weeks past, that they saw how player feedback was. So commendations won't be as tightly tied to Guardian rank progression. I think that's a great choice. You were talking about that when it first got introduced. And I'm actually really excited for that. The other thing that's interesting in that section is leadership commendations for ranks 10 to 11 will be retroactive.
Yep, which is a good thing. I appreciate that one.
So it means you don't
Means
have
you
to
just have to get them.
restart from the beginning.
Yep. And the other thing they talked about, they went over how they toned down the difficulty of some in-game activities because red bars and orange bars are a little too tanky, specifically in the Avalon mission with a full fire team.
God, yes. Well, and the other thing that I think is really interesting is, and I saw a lot of takes, both good and hot takes, is the ways that they're going to be able to obtain exotic armor. Specifically, that the what is it? The public event on Neomuna will give you access to Master and Legend Lost Sector loot.
Yeah, they are adding that stuff to the Vex Strike Force, which should spawn in the incursion zone. It is very random, and you basically kind of have to be on top of that when they do spawn. It's kind of hit or miss right now. So I think that's fair. I think it'll be fine. The other thing that they did is they reduced the enemy spawn rates and the difficulty of certain phases on the heist battlegrounds,
Yeah, some of those are
specifically the
rough.
Nightfall variants.
Yeah, I mean the if I'm gonna be honest, the heist battlegrounds are they're rough. They were rough when they first came out when you were first grinding, level,
Yep.
but they are even worse now. So, um and there's also some I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff here. Like they're updating 15 15 exotic armor pieces coming next season. That's
And that's
dope.
not all.
Yeah, they're adding 2 new armor mods, shoot to loot, now
Well,
collects orbs of power.
that one's going to be really fun. But the
That's
big
fucking
thing,
hysterical.
the two best things of this entire article, Season 21, the artifact will no longer fully reset. You can reset individual perk points.
So that's really nice. That means that if you like all of it, you can just click the button and be like, you know what? No, I don't want this. I would rather have this piece.
It makes build crafting easier, and I like that. The other thing that's huge, you can focus exotics finally.
Yeah, that is really interesting how they went around with that. Um, the now this is the part that I know a lot of people were a little mad about is they saw a leak, I believe, or is a teaser of being able to focus it. The cost of focusing exotic armor is insanely high.
It's like I see that it's very high, and they will probably tone it down at some point, but
I mean,
I actually kind of don't disagree.
3 ascendant shards just to get it, and
Yep.
then it takes another 3 ascendant shards to fully upgrade it. That's 6 ascendant shards. It's already a pain in the ass getting a handful of those.
It is at the same time to focus exactly what exotic you want. I would take that over having to grind lost sectors constantly.
Yeah. Plus it will also be a little bit easier to get specific exotics with rolls that you want with the ghost mods. Because I'm pretty
Yep.
sure that the ghost mods will work on that like they do normally all the other armor focusing systems that work in the game. So if you're looking for like a Nezarec Sin and you want a shit ton of discipline for Void Warlock grenade build, just put on the discipline mod on your ghost and it will automatically give you discipline, which I think
Yeah.
is super fucking dope. Um, I just think that I saw some of the costs. I think some of them are fine. I think the glimmer is fine. I think I saw legendary shards in there as well. I think the legendary shards is fine, but I think the ascendant shards, 3 ascendant shards to focus an exotic, I think that's too expensive. At least only make it one because you need 3 ascendant shards in order to masterwork it anyways.
I think they're probably going to give us more resources to acquire those.
Well, the other thing is I would love to see when you get exotic armor, right? Because when you farm legend and master lost sectors, you're not using all of those exotic armors. I would like to see them give us back more mats when you dismantle a exotic armor. So even if you don't get the specific role you want, if you dismantle it, you'll at least get some. You don't need to get. I don't think it's fair to get all of the mats back because then you could just sit there and spam. But
Yeah.
I think it would be fair to give some of the mats back, right? And in my opinion, it's really easy to get things like Glimmer, like legendary shards,
Oh yeah,
just farm activities. You'll get shit easily.
literally, if you need legendary shards or glimmer, just play dares.
Yeah.
Literally, that's all you need to do. They're
Yeah.
fast.
That's a
They give a
lot.
ton of loot, and it's very minimal. Like, and everything's base level. Like, all the enemies are base level, so you
It's
can go in with anything.
it's real easy to farm. Yeah. And I agree with that. I think it should give back, I think the biggest thing is giving back the ascended shard. If you focus one ascended shard, or if you focus 3 ascended shards into it, you should, and you don't get the roll you want, you should get at least one of them back. Because
Yeah,
still, at this current moment, ascended shards are still kind of a pain in the ass to farm. Because if you're doing it the old school way, you're transferring enhancement prisms into, or enhancement cores into enhancement prisms into ascendant shards, right?
which
The fast track way is to do Grandmaster Nightfalls. The issue is, not everybody can do Grandmaster Nightfalls.
the good news is they have already announced that next season they are not raising the power cap. So
Which
if
is
you hit 1800, you're set basically for end game already.
Which is interesting, because normally they raise it about 10 levels. So I am curious as to the reason why they're not raising it this next season.
I'm excited for that because that means the end game stuff starts way faster.
This is also very true. And I was about to say, next season they're also bringing back a dungeon. Either a dungeon or another raid, right?
They are bringing. They should be bringing the exotic mission rotator.
Oh, that's right. So that'll be, the 3 of those will be, I think it'll be, I think it's Whispers, right?
I think they said they were starting with Whisper, Zero Hour, and
Presage. I think it's
Presage.
DMTs. Yeah, which is
Yeah.
fine, right? Again, all 3 of those guns, phenomenal guns. Which also means, fun fact for those of you like me who went and got Whisper of the Worm but never got the Catalyst, this is your chance to go back and get the Catalyst. Because you can only get the Catalyst for doing the goddamn mission.
I'm trying to
And the
remember.
Catalyst makes Whisper fucking broke. Oof.
Let me see if they actually like updated its drop.
No, it is still you can only find it in the subterranean. I checked. I was very sad. But in other news though, all of the exotic catalysts that we do have, especially the heavies, for example, like Two-Tailed Fox, if you're looking to farm those, Dares of Eternity still exists. Second phase is literally free heavy ammo. Just don't miss. Don't miss the jump. And you have free heavy, regenerating heavy. Like, it is the, like, I mean, Danny, I think it was you, me, Rogue, and, like, Buddha. We went into Dares, and we literally sat there and farmed heavy catalysts. I farmed 7 of them. 7 heavy catalysts. That's just fucking gross. Like, you can, and I did that all in, like, 2 days. Like, Dares makes heavy farming, and I really hope that they update Dares a little bit, because I'm gonna be honest, I talked to Rogue, and he said that he was trying to farm the patterns for BXR. He got 55 of them. You want to know how many patterns he got?
I know from experience. It took me basically all of last season, plus like partway into this season before I got my final red border for the pattern.
Yeah, I would like to see an increase on red borders. At bare minimum, I would like to see, because Xur doesn't unfortunately have focusing.
Yeah.
So
you cannot get red borders from Xur.
Yes, which, number one, I think that would be a great choice to add is if you do decide to run dares, which again, it's an activity, it's a great way to farm, just if you need to farm items just to get enhancement cores and, legendary shards, it gives you a shit ton of loot, and it's relatively simple. New lights can do it all the time, and it only gets easier as you level up.
I have been very excited for this TWAB, by the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this TWAB. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff. It's not a lot in this first section, but it's good. Now, Who wants to be a conqueror? This is for the Grandmaster Nightfall World Tour Gauntlet. Um, so to go off with, the power level cap is going to be 25 levels below the activity level. So for season 20, that means combatants will be 1840, but you will be at 1815 at the most. Combatants can take more hits, deal more damage, and are quite aggressive. Champions will be abundant, so be sure to have the proper weapons to deal with them. There's one burn that will cause you to receive 25% more damage from a certain element. Also, 2 elemental surges and overcharged weapons, both granting a 25% damage increase. And revives are limited, and after a certain amount of time, darkness will encroach and you won't be able to be revived or be revived. So, I I don't mind all of this except for the champions. That is the one thing I hate about Grandmaster Nightfall is the only way to up the difficulty is to add more champions, which I don't. I think all of the Destiny community can. I think we can all agree. Fuck champions. Just as a whole, they all suck. They're all
They
awful to deal with. But specifically,
overload
fuck overloads.
overload specifically are probably the worst.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really a big fan of overloads. I think that the overloads definitely need a hard nerf.
I think the overloads should not have regenerating health. If they didn't have regenerating health, they would be more acceptable.
Well, and half of them have fucking teleports.
Yep. 'Cause, like, if they don't get their health back, the teleporting is still an issue, but it's not like, oh, they've teleported away and now they have all of their health back.
Yeah, and now you have to re-get ammo again. Like, unless you're using a primary like an auto rifle / SMG,
Which,
which
buff
most
soon.
people most likely will, but still, it's just having the overloads are giant bullet sponges, especially because you have to rev up the overload and then you have to proc it, and before half the time before you get a chance to proc it, the overload disappears, so you don't get the proc because they teleport behind cover, and now you have to restun them again. Like, it's just overloads. It's just giant pain in the dick. Shields and unstoppables are one thing. Like, they're relatively simple. You just have to wait them out and wait for the right time to shoot them. Overloads are just a giant pain in the dick. So I'm not a fan of that, but I like the fact of the 2 elemental surges. I think that's fine, and I also like the fact of overcharged weapons. I think that's also a great choice, because it gives you more opportunities to use other weapons. Again, the only issue is fucking champions are still going to restrict what weapons you're going to use.
The best part about those weapon surges and the overcharged weapons and the elemental surges is they stack with other buffs. They hit pretty hard.
Yeah, they are a baseline buff, so everything else can stack on top of it, which is great. But the issue that I have is, and I found this out when I was running some Legend Nightfalls, is if you have overcharged machine gun,
Mm-hmm.
there are no champion mods for machine guns.
The only one that has a mod on it is Thunderlord, and it's an intrinsic.
Yep. So all of the heavy machine guns, unless you're running Thunderlord, you don't get a mod. So that's basically a waste of an overcharge.
The only thing that you can really do with machine guns is take care of overloads, or if you have radiant or volatile rounds, anti-barrier.
Yeah, but still, with that being said, it still hard limits you, because it's like, would you take, unless you have Thunderlord, right?
Yep.
And you, like, for example, as a new light, you're not going to have all of the intrinsic exotics. You have to rely on the mods.
Unless
There's
you
no
want
point.
to go Team Darkness.
Yeah.
Darkness subclasses actually seem to be a full-on hard counter to all champions, which is really funny.
Well, yeah, Stasis will freeze and it basically stuns, and then Strand
Stasis
suspension is basically
Strand is
stun.
just stasis, but better.
Strand is Stasis, but you get to be Spider-Man.
And also the Warlock Super is in fact like one of the highest damage supers in the game right now.
Yeah, if you hit
It's
one
so
target,
good.
if you hit multiple targets, it just clears ads. That's all it
Like,
does. It's
found
it's
out
very finicky in its aiming system, which is what I find to be.
raids though. Mm, raids though is pretty nice.
Oh
I
yeah,
have found out
you clear a whole room because
you can clear a whole
one
room or
little
chunk a
one
boss
yeah one needle is enough to basically nuke a random mob.
because they explode twice. That's pretty great.
Yeah. And I mean, along with that, we're also getting the new aspects for all of the classes. For Warlock, it's going to be the Wanderer, which we haven't been told what that's going to include. Um,
Excited,
but I am very excited. I
excited
want
for
to
that
see,
and the hand cannon that comes with it.
yeah, and here's the crazy part, Danny, is I want to see, and hear me out, I want to see a roaming Warlock super that is not ass.
Yeah,
Because
I want to
Tickle
see
Fingers
roaming
got
supers.
nerfed, and Blink Nova Warp got nerfed. Both of the Warlock roaming supers got nerfed because let's be honest, Dawnblade was never good to begin with, and it's still ass. Um,
The sad thing is now it is actually better than Tickle Fingers. I
that's
kind
still
of
not
hate
saying
that.
much though.
It's not saying much.
It's really
But like
not. Like, give me a
the roaming
roaming Warlock
supers,
super that's not gonna get nerfed into oblivion, please.
the poor roaming supers just they have like they're usable in PvP. That's it.
Oh,
The
not
roaming
even.
super.
Not even. Like, Tickle Fingers is okay in PvP, but it takes one motherfucker with a rocket launcher to just nuke you. Right?
I
Like,
I will say
it's Nova Warp is trash. I'm gonna say it now. Why would you use Nova Warp when you have two different versions of Nova Bomb that are both better?
yeah.
Chaos Reach instantly nukes people. Why would you use Tickle Fingers when Chaos Reach exists? Why would you use Dawnblade? Literally ever. Ever. I just want a good roaming Warlock super. Alright.
I did like roaming supers in general would be nice to do like a tiny bit more damage in PvE. Just a little bit, because
Yeah.
why would you use a roaming super in PvE?
Yeah. And then you were talking about this earlier. The Heist Battleground for Mars got a little bit of a change. Another Heist Battlegrounds got some stuff taken out. So again, just some good changes for the
Bungie
casual player
basically
base.
saying they realized, oh yeah, no, these don't work once you get rid of the mods that make them easier.
Yeah, and I know that some people, not to call out specifically because I am a big fan of like people like Datto, of like Salta Greppo, but they have some very elitist takes, and I don't agree with a lot of them because they're not kind to the casual community.
Yeah. The people
Um,
that would normally be playing these on the daily basis, it's not enjoyable. Specifically, the lasers that instantly kill you if you so much as touch a pixel of them.
yeah, it's just they're not fun. They're
Now,
not fun.
the battlegrounds are not fun, and they have joined the list of things that if I'm playing the Vanguard playlist and one of those show up, I go back to Orbase.
I do not blame you. Moving on, we've got strand weapons. Chance to get the adept versions of the Trials of Osiris weapon,
I'm excited.
Whistler's Whim. And so we're going to go over the weapons that are leaving and the weapons that are entering. So in Nightfall, the weapons that are leaving is Mindbender's Ambition, the solar aggressive frame shotgun. The final week that will be on rotation will actually be, I believe, that is a week and a half from now. And then the Malicious Birthright kinetic lightweight grenade launcher will be 2.5 to 3 weeks from now. Trials of Osiris, the Inquisitor Arc Precision Slug Shotgun, is going to be out later in May. Whistler's Whim, the kinetic lightweight bow, is already out of rotation for trials. For Iron Banner, the Wizened Rebuke Arc High Impact Fusion Rifle and the Hero's Burden Void Adaptive Submachine Gun will also be removed. And then for competitive playlist, the Rose Lightweight Kinetic Hand Cannon, which I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised that they're taking out this early I guess because it's only a seasonal thing, but that still kind of sucks.
I am very afraid of why.
Oh, is it in the next section that I need to worry about?
I, yeah, I'm very afraid because I see what that is.
So, the weapons that will be entering are in the Nightfall, the Braytech Osprey, a void high impact rocket launcher, and the Loaded Question Arc high impact fusion rifle. For the Vanguard playlist, it'll be the Positive Outlook Void Precision Auto Rifle. For Gambit, they are adding in a Strand linear fusion rifle. That is interesting. That is the first time that they have done something to Gambit in fucking ever.
The
So,
next one I'm super excited about, though.
Crucible, they're bringing in Randy's throwing knife, a kinetic rapid fire scout rifle. That's going to be hype. Trials of Osiris, they're bringing in an arc glaive, which you've already gotten a look at, and the Messenger, kinetic high impact pulse rifle. For Iron Banner, a Strand fusion rifle, which has not been named, and Swarm of the Raven, a void rapid fire heavy grenade launcher, and for competitive, an arc sniper rifle. Why would you add another arc sniper rifle? Darcy already is at the bottom of the barrel.
I am terrified that they're going to bring in random rolls of, what was it, Beloved.
No! No!
That's why I'm terrified when I see Arc
Oh,
Sniper in competitive.
no! Oh, God, please, no! No!
But
PvP will legit be unplayable!
Beloved is a really good sniper,
But it is the bane of everybody's existence!
and it doesn't have like a perfect sniper roll.
There are so many. Yeah,
That's why I'm terrified of random rolls for that thing.
because any role can make it work, right?
Yep, because like if you could get snapshot on it and like moving target, PvP's done. Snipers rule that.
That's not fun. I'm very terrified of that. No, now I understand what you're talking about, Danny. That's fucking
Yeah,
terrifying.
I would have rather than brought back Recluse.
Yeah. Now, uh, moving on a little bit, there is a cutscene, Season of the Lost, season 15. So they added some archive stuff, some archived cutscenes. So, spoiler alert, shit, fucking people died. All right, moving on. So they added some cutscenes onto the official channel, so that way you can see a bunch of the cutscenes. Which I'm gonna be honest, again, some of these cutscenes were just, actually, if I'm gonna be honest, all of these cutscenes were bangers.
Yeah,
Bungie's
like
animation team, yet again, just knocked it out of the park for the past 2 years. Just making banger after banger.
and like most of these are pretty pivotal to the story. So it's good that they actually have an archive now. Because most people have to rely on channels that make up like Destiny the movie compilations of all of the cutscenes from previous seasons, previous expansions, stuff that's no longer available in the game.
Yeah,
That's a lot of work.
yeah. So, and they did go into a little bit more detail about this. So, what about other expansions and future seasons? Almost every cutscene from Destiny 2 should eventually be uploaded. We are hoping to add one or two seasons every few months, which again is great. I'm really excited about that. But that's not my Guardian. True, because these are all recorded videos, the footage couldn't be customized for each viewer. However, our team did try and capture these cutscenes with a variety of Guardians across all classes and races to really showcase who our Guardians are. Which, again, I think that's perfectly fine. Though I will say, I really hope some of these cutscenes have some fucking outrageously looking Guardians. Like, if there's not one super outrageously looking Guardian, I'm gonna be disappointed. Because, come on, Bungie.
It'd be
It's the
really
D2
funny.
community. Give them a meme to play with. And then, can I share my
Really
recordings
funny.
on YouTube too? We ask that you leave the cutscenes up to us. We totally understand and allow clips to be used during your video creation for MOTW or other content creation needs, but full cutscenes will need to remain on our channel. That is a little sad. Um, I would like to see people upload their other cutscenes so that way, like, you could do a content creator like for the week of like different things and how they showed up in the cutscene. I think that would be super dope.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Along with that, Prime Gaming Loot, baby! For the Prime Gaming Loot this go around, we're going to get the Spring Showers exotic emote, the Arrow of Time exotic ship, the Gray Tiger Shell legendary ghost shell, and the Velvet Intention legendary shader. And this is the first time in a while that we've actually gotten a shader out of a
And
Prime Gaming.
from what I have been hearing and understanding, this is a unique to Prime Gaming shader.
Really? Oh, please tell me it changes
This is
colors.
this is the first time that they have done that as well. So that's a nice little incentive if you have Prime.
If you have Twitch Prime, link your shit. You get free loot. Free loot.
There's a
Stupid
lot of
fuck.
things
Get
that do
free
it.
loot.
Like there are a lot of games that do that, honestly, too.
Yeah, there's so
It's
many games that give you such free shit. And like, yeah, the legendary ghost shell's not going to be anything, but number one, it's going to be added to your collections. So if you do end up liking it, you can just store it and dismantle it and pick it up at another date. It's another exotic ship. I'm not going to say no, and it's an exotic emo. And again, like you said, Danny, you said that the shaders almost as it is a specific Prime Gaming thing.
yeah. From
Like,
what I have been informed, it seems to be unique to Prime Gaming. So it's brand new.
and I think that's actually a really great change. I think that's cool that they're really giving the people who do have Twitch Prime, give them something a little exclusive, for paying for Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
And
and
I think that's dope.
I'm okay with that. Honestly, it's a nice incentive.
Yeah. Because, I mean, again, you're not just getting the shader, you're getting three other things, too. And for new lights, I cannot recommend Prime Gaming enough, right? If you are a new light, which, number one, you should be watching this channel. You should be watching this channel if you're a new light. Because we give you all the base information that you will ever need. Number two, right? Like, you just, a lot of times in Prime Gaming, they'll give you exotics that you don't have to hope to God that you get as a world drop.
Yeah,
They'll just give you shit. Like, what was the last exotic that they just gave us?
I think they gave Warcliffe again. I can't remember.
Yeah,
It was either like
and
Warcliffe or Sunshot.
it's not that bad of a rocket launcher. It's pretty solid if you're just starting out.
Prime Gaming gives some good stuff. Plus an ornament for it usually.
Yep, give loot. And then we're
And
on to the problems. Now, and surprisingly enough, we actually do have to go over these because it's a brand new set of problems and bugs. So I actually get to go over these. So they're investigating an increase in chicken errors in D1. Danny, what is a chicken error?
I am not entirely sure because their error code system is all over the place.
Yeah. This was something that I also found interesting. An upgrade for the war table can drop after all upgrades have already been acquired, resulting in a persistent flashing indicator of an available upgrade at the vendor. Something that is to note, there's a lot of the season challenges in order to get the upgrades for the war table, but you get more than there are upgrades for the war table.
Yep.
So my question is, are they just going to keep the war table this season and just import it to next season?
What they're doing is similar to what they did like last season, where all of the stuff from the previous seasons is going to be available for the duration of the year. And probably toward the end, they're going to give everything a big bump in the deep sight.
That'll be huge. Oh, speaking of which, I think I need to go do my Perpetualis this week. I'll do that
I
tomorrow.
am glad that they made those repeatable.
Yeah, well, and the fact of that, like, being able to do it once every week, so that way you can choose, in a season, roughly about 2 to 3 guns to get the pattern for. Like,
Yeah.
I'm happy about that, because, if I'm gonna be honest, Danny, I'm actually really not that big of a fan of the other weapons that were available this season. The only one I really liked was Perpetualis. Now, to be fair, coming from an FPS background, I am a slut for auto rifles.
And I am very much looking forward to the primary buff coming mid-season.
Me gusta.
I am ready to fully go back into my my hand cannon usage.
Oh, I've thought about, Danny. So hear me out. I've thought about the wonderfulness if they ever bring Unstoppable Hand Cannon back of going back and doing Nightfalls with the 1-2 tap, which is going with an unstoppable primary hand cannon, either Dire Promise or Austringer, and then running Ariana's Vow.
Yeah.
Running double hand cannon. Like, ooh. Ooh. The dream lives!
I am excited that they are buffing all the primaries instead of nerfing SMGs.
Thank God. So that's very, very exciting. Now, we are going to get into the artists of the week. We've got Atmos Fioric with Furby Nezarek, finally God of Cursed. And that is a cursed image.
It really is.
It's a fucking Furby. That's so good. That's so fucking good. Oh my God, I love that. I love it and I hate it at the exact same time. Like, for those of you that grew up in the 90s, Furbies are terrifying to you as a kid. Like, oh my God, that's gross. That's gross and I love it. So, Atmos Fioric, that's great. I appreciate your artwork. That's amazing. Along with that, Sabin Okami with XV the Devil. And it's The Witness, I believe, right? The Witness being
Yep.
the witness? Yeah.
As the witness, I believe, in this particular image holding the Traveler.
Yeah, which also, fuck that son of a bitch. But yeah, again, good art. Just good art. I love the kind of like comic book style leaves on it.
I think this art is actually like a pseudo tarot card.
Yeah, looking at the lines and how the structure's held up, it is very tarot card like. I can agree with that. And then we have the world's we have by the Snazzy Rock, we have world's first solo Nezarek. Now, I actually have seen this video, surprisingly enough. And it is so good. Also, know what gun this fucker is holding.
Yep.
This motherfucker is running Ariana's Vow. That's so good. It's, like, number one, it's already hard to do, like, 2s and 3s in a raid. Like, you gotta sweat. But Snazzy absolutely pulled the most Giga Chad shit I have ever seen. It's if you have not seen this run, the Nezarek's world first solo, please go watch it. It is absolutely phenomenal of how he swaps loadouts and how he does specific gun combinations and supers. Please, please, please go watch it. It is very, very, very good. And we have Volfi. I made a little tribute video for Amanda. She's been with us since Destiny's launch and will be missed greatly. Now, we have already talked about Amanda, so we will not go into that. But again, it is still hard to see Amanda be gone.
Yep.
And with that being said, we are at the end of the TWAB. So overall, just kind of more of like a catch up on some things and just a little bit more insight into what's going to be happening the next couple weeks, which I think is fine. And, you know, honestly, I like having a short TWAB every now and then. This is a good one. It's not long, but it's got vital information that is top notch. Do you have anything to say about this TWAB, Danny?
I am going to be watching the weapons that come in next season very closely.
I'm not looking forward to them. Actually, I take that
I
back. The Strand Linear Fusion Rifle I'm going to be looking forward to. I hate,
I'm
like, half the weapons they
intrigued.
are bringing, though.
Like bringing back because I noticed they're bringing back a lot of the old Pinnacle weapons.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting, because all of those, as a matter of fact, I think roughly about, like, 70% of those were Sunset, weren't they?
Yep, all of them were sunset except for like maybe one or two.
Yeah, so
And
it is interesting.
terrifying fact, we're getting close to, as I've noticed, Crucible just now with Randy's throwing knife. That came out just after Mountaintop.
Oh, no.
Because it was Recluse, Mountaintop, then Randy's throwing knife.
Oh, no. Are we going to see another Gnawing Hunger Mountaintop meta?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. After they hit auto loading and Luna factions with the nerf, I don't think like those breach deals are as dominant.
I also don't
But
like the fact that they
Mountaintop,
nerfed Lunas.
they did do that.
Like,
Mountaintop though, I feel like would be pretty nice right now.
it's
Not
certainly
gonna
going to be
lie.
interesting. But I'm going to be honest, though. Mountaintop was mostly a PvP grenade launcher, was it not?
It was really good in PvE because
Really?
unlike other breach loaders, it has micro rockets instead of grenades, so it didn't drop. It was point and click.
Oh, no. Oh,
So
that's
it made it
terrifying.
real nice for bosses.
Oh, man. That's terrifying. Oh, alright. Well, we'll just have to see in next week's
You
TWAB. But with that being said, Danny, where can they find you?
can find me on Twitch and YouTube under the same name.
You can also find me at DominiFox1 on Twitter or on Twitch/YouTube at DominiFox. We both really appreciate everyone coming to hang out and watch the video. Again, apologize that it's late. Head ass boy here forgot to record. So, whoopsies. But anyways, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. We both hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, don't be a sweat lord. We'll see you guys next time.